Okay, so let's unpack this. We've got quite a stack of sources right here. Articles, some research notes people have shared with us,
Mm-hmm.
and they really paint a picture of something, well, huge happening over at Meta.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like more than just a minor update. We're talking AI integration into their ad platforms.
Yeah.
It seems set to really fundamentally reshape how marketing gets done.
Absolutely. It feels like a massive shift. So our mission here in this deep dive is to kind of cut through the noise a bit,
Yeah.
pull out the most important bits from these sources, and really try to understand, okay, what exactly is meta planning? What's the timeline look like?
Uh-huh. The potential impact, too, across the board.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, what does it all mean for you, the listener, whether you're a consumer or maybe involved in creative work or marketing yourself?
And, among these sources, there's some really valuable research from Kevin Brake. His work in this specific area has been super helpful in making sense of these pretty complex changes.
Yeah, it has. It's been good having his perspective as we dug through all this material.
Definitely.
And his insights really help ground this conversation, I think. He poses this crucial question right up front. And it feels like the perfect way to look at everything else in these sources.
What was that question again?
It's, will ads created by AI be better or worse for end users?
Ah, right. That's a big one.
Yeah. And as we explore what Meta seems to be planning, that question just kind of hangs over everything, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
So, okay, diving into the core of it, what the material reveals about Meta's big announcement. The plan, it looks like, is to, well, fully automate their advertising platform.
Fully automate. Wow.
Yeah. The vision described is almost starkly simple. A business uploads some basic assets, product images, maybe some key messages,
Okay.
sets their budget, their goal, what result they want, and the AI just takes over from there.
And when these sources say takes over, they seem to mean like everything.
Pretty much. The AI is apparently designed to generate all the creative stuff.
Like the visuals,
Yeah.
the videos, the actual ad text.
Exactly. Visuals, video concepts, the copy. And it also handles all the technical execution.
So the targeting, the optimizing it in real time.
Right. The placement across Facebook, Instagram, wherever.
Mm.
And even really deep personalization for every single user. It's comprehensive.
The scale just sounds immense.
Mm.
There's that quote mentioned in the material attributed to Zuckerberg.
Oh, yeah. The one about any business can tell us the result they want and the price they'll pay, and we do the rest.
That's the one. That really captures the intended handoff, doesn't it? It's quite a statement.
It completely changes the game. It's not just, helping businesses with better tools anymore.
No, it's like saying, just give us the objective. Our AI will figure out the creative, the targeting, everything to get you there.
Which, that implies a pretty dramatic reduction in the need for a lot of traditional human roles, right? The ones focused on doing those specific tasks.
Yeah, absolutely. And the timeline outlined in this material, frankly, is kind of striking. It lays out this three-phase progression for how this automation is expected to roll out.
It seems incredibly fast.
Right. Phase one, they're projecting for 2025, so like next year. And it's being called the creative cliff.
Okay, creative cliff. What does that entail?
This is apparently where we start seeing AI agents, these kind of autonomous AI programs handling the more routine campaign optimization stuff. And simple ad creation becomes fully automated. The sources are suggesting this phase could see creative agencies starting to lay off, junior staff.
Oh.
And maybe freelance copywriters facing a really sharp drop in demand for basic work.
Okay, so that's just phase one. Then phase two.
Phase two is anticipated for 2026. The material labels this one mass replacement.
Doesn't sound subtle.
No. This is supposedly when complete creative automation goes live. The expectation cited here is that AI will be generating video, graphics, copy.
And not just generating it, but
generating stuff that actually outperforms most human-generated work, like maybe 90% of it, at least based on platform performance metrics.
90%? Wow.
Yeah. And marketing agencies are warned they basically have to pivot hard towards AI oversight, strategy roles, or risk becoming obsolete.
And what about traditional creative roles, like creative directors?
Well, if they're focused only on generating the creative concepts, this model suggests those roles could become, largely extinct within this Meta ecosystem.
That is incredibly compressed. Just a couple of years.
I know. And it culminates in phase 3 in 2027, which they're calling the new reality.
The new reality. Okay.
By this point, the sources suggest that maybe only the absolute top tier of creative talent, like the top 1%, might survive in those traditional creative roles.
Just the very top.
Yeah. And traditional ad agencies, as we kind of know them now, They could effectively become, well, historical artifacts. Creative work largely treated as a commodity handled by AI.
It's a pretty stark picture. What's fascinating, though, according to the material, is why this seems so inevitable, the why behind it being considered unstoppable.
Right. What are the drivers?
Well, one huge factor is just speed. AI can apparently launch fully personalized campaigns in minutes.
Minutes. Compared to days or weeks for traditional processes.
Exactly. That's a massive difference.
And I assume it's cheaper.
Oh, yeah, obviously. No salaries, no overhead, no traditional creative fees for generating the core ads themselves.
Right. What's that?
But maybe the most powerful driver mentioned is the testing and data side of things.
How so?
The AI can test thousands, maybe even millions of creative variations all at once.
Wow.
And optimize in real time based on performance data in a way that, no human team could ever possibly manage.
That scale of testing is just different.
Totally. And the sources cite some early results already showing AI-generated campaigns outperforming human ones by pretty significant margins, like 30–40% in some cases.
30 to 40%. That's not just tweaking things.
No, that kind of performance lift is incredibly compelling for businesses using the platform.
Yeah, a 30–40% improvement. That could completely redefine who wins and loses on the platform, competitively speaking.
For sure. And this isn't just Meta doing this in a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
The sources indicate other big players are involved too.
Like Google, TikTok.
Exactly. Google, TikTok, LinkedIn. They're reportedly developing identical or, very similar AI-driven automation systems.
Well, they almost have to, don't they?
That's the point made in the material. If Meta offers businesses dramatically higher performance at a lower cost through this automation,
Then everyone else has to follow suit.
Yeah.
Or they lose advertisers.
Precisely. The sources describe it like this cascade effect platforms automate.
Which puts pressure on agencies still doing things manually.
Then brands realize, hey, we can bypass a lot of these agency services.
Which then makes the old skill sets of traditional creative professionals less directly employable.
Forcing the entire industry to basically restructure around these AI-first models, a whole chain reaction.
But, okay, here's where the picture gets a bit more nuanced. And this is a critical point highlighted in some of this research, including Kevin Brake's perspective again.
Right, it's not all doom and gloom necessarily.
Exactly. This transformation, while definitely disruptive, isn't just about wiping out roles. It seems it also creates significant new opportunities.
Yeah, for those who adapt, right. Quickly and strategically.
That's the key. The future, according to these sources, really belongs to people who learn to work with the AI, or maybe above it, strategically.
And the material highlights several new kinds of roles that could become really crucial.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, one is offer engineers.
Offer engineers, what's that?
They aren't creative writers in the old sense. They're more like strategic thinkers. Their job is to craft the core value proposition, the really compelling deal or message.
Yeah, the core idea.
Yeah. The thing that the AI then uses as the foundation for all its creative variations. AI can generate options, but it can't, invent that core human insight or that irresistible offer.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The strategy behind the campaign. What else?
You also see mention of AI orchestrators.
Orchestrators, like conducting an orchestra.
Kind of. These are pros who don't just manage one AI system.
Right.
They might oversee and coordinate multiple AI platforms and tools.
Across different channels, maybe.
Exactly. To achieve broader business goals, managing the whole AI marketing stack, basically.
Got it. Complex systems management.
Then there are results architects.
Results architects, okay.
These are specialists who design and structure the actual outcome-based business models. They focus on the high-level strategic objectives the AI is being aimed at.
Rather than just the creative execution part.
Right. They define what success looks like in this new automated world, setting the targets for the AI.
Interesting. And there was one more mentioned.
Yeah, experience designers.
Experience designers, how's that different?
These are creators who focus on the parts of marketing and connection that AI, currently really struggles with.
Like what? Genuine human connection?
Exactly. Building trust, creating truly unique, non-commoditized brand experiences that resonate on a deeper, more emotional level. Things AI finds hard to fake convincingly.
So focusing on the inherently human aspects.
Precisely. These are the kinds of roles the sources suggest will actually thrive in this new landscape.
So the overall takeaway from all this material seems to be that the question isn't really if this massive shift is going to happen.
No, Meta's announcements and the actions described here suggest it's already well underway.
Right. So the real pressing question is how everyone adapts the industry, businesses, individuals.
Yeah.
How do we all adjust to this new reality?
Yeah.
And, circling back to Kevin Brake's big question about the end user experience, will AI-created ads be better or worse?
It's such a crucial point.
Because this isn't just an industry thing. It directly impacts the content that you, the listener, see every single day.
Mm-hmm. Will this world of hyper-personalized AI-generated creative actually feel more relevant and helpful?
Or will it feel, I don't know, creepier, more intrusive, just
Okay.
overwhelming?
That's a real question, and I guess we'll all get to experience the answer firsthand pretty soon.
So just to sum it up then, based on everything we've dug into from these sources, Meta is pushing, pretty aggressively it seems, towards automating marketing creative, targeting, optimization, the works.
Right. The goal appears to be a model where businesses just state their objective, state their price, and the AI handles, well, pretty much everything else.
And that could potentially displace a lot of traditional creative and agency roles.
Yeah, and on a surprisingly rapid timeline, stretching just out to maybe 2027, according to this material.
However, and this is important, the same material also points to significant new opportunities emerging.
Definitely. Roles that really leverage human strategic thinking, a deep understanding of what makes a great offer.
Managing these complex AI systems, and maybe most critically, the ability to build genuine human connection and unique experiences.
Those seem to be highlighted as really essential skills moving forward.
Which leads to maybe a final thought to leave people with. As AI takes over more of the, let's say, efficient creative tasks based on data,
Yeah.
what truly becomes the unique value proposition of human ingenuity in marketing and communication? What's left that only humans can really do effectively?
That's a really good question to ponder as all this unfolds. Something worth thinking about.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in exploring this topic more, digging deeper,
Where should people look?
well, the sources suggest looking at official Meta business resources. They often detail their AI tools. Also, reputable marketing technology news websites are usually on top of this.
And maybe general analyses of the AI industry, too. They often cover these kinds of shifts.
Good point. Lots of places to keep learning if you're interested.
And hey, if you found this deep dive valuable, please do let us know by liking it.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. And we'd also genuinely love to hear your thoughts or questions about Meta's AI plans and what it might mean for you. So, feel free to leave us a comment below.